recording in.
Hi, everybody. It's just 2 o'clock. I'm just going to give maybe another minute or two, and then we'll get started with Kira's presentation today. Exciting to see so many familiar faces.
Hello.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Debbie, Judy, Peggy, yay. We will also be recording this program today, so it might take us a week or two to get it uploaded, but we will have it eventually put onto our YouTube page as well. So, all right. All right. Well, we have quite a few participants here, so couple things today that, like I said, it will be recorded. We do also have a chat, so that if you guys have questions, you can add them in there, but Kira will allow for some time at the end of the presentation for questions, so that you can, at that point, unmute yourself at the end if you have a question, or you can also add things into the chat and we'll kind of help to monitor that as well. But for the time being, in the majority of the presentation, if you guys don't mind putting yourselves on mute so that everyone can hear Kira clearly, that would be really awesome if you can do that. So. All right, so I think it's about time. So we want to honor all of your time here. So first of all is thank you so much for everyone being here today. Those of you, I know many of you on here, but my name is Rebecca. I am the operations manager for both OsteoStrong McCormick Ranch and OsteoStrong Arcadia. And I am also a board certified holistic nutritionist. So those of you who may not know this, but holistic nutrition is a lot more than just looking at the food that we eat. A lot of it is also looking at all of the things that affect our nutrition status. And one of the things I find most common with our clients is challenges with managing stress. We live in a very busy world and a lot of stimulation. And I think that finding different ways for us to help stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system and get us into a more relaxed state, that's where our body is going to do the best digestion. It's going to have the best assimilation of nutrients compared to when you're in a stressful state. Your body is not at rest and digest. It is not digesting its food properly. And not only that, but you're also utilizing a lot of the micronutrients that your body needs to build bone and to be healthy by making those stress hormones. So it kind of acts as a double whammy. So I cannot emphasize enough the importance of managing your stress. We're all very, very fortunate here at OsteoStrong that we have someone as skilled as Kira to help us with some of these stressful times and maybe give us some different techniques that might be able to help. So I do right now want to introduce Kira Tucker. She is a coach here at OsteoStrong, but she is also a Breathmasters certified breath coach. She has a few other credentials. I'll let her share a little bit more about herself with you. But I am going to hand it over to Kira. So I wanted to just thank you all for being here today and enjoy the presentation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for that lovely introduction. I love seeing all of your wonderful faces here for this webinar today. Basically, this webinar is going to be all about breathwork and how to utilize different tools for regulating your nervous system, managing your stress, and supporting your bone health. So let's go ahead and get into it. There we go. Okay, so who am I? As you know, I am a Breathmasters certified breath coach. I'm also a yoga instructor as well as an LCS certified life coach, and I'm currently in a Ayurvedic nutrition certification program. I coach around holistic, somatic processing, and just having overall greater awareness of your body. Self-knowledge is power, I believe, and learning how to tune into your body is really going to make a difference when you're talking about your overall health. So today we're going to cover why breath work is important. That's going to be a good chunk of this webinar presentation. I'm also going to talk about improper versus proper breathing. So we tend to really have a lot of improper breathing that's conditioned into us from a young state. And when we can transition to more proper breathing techniques, it's going to support our overall health and wellness. I'm also going to go over a few different techniques that you can take with you. We might do a little practice so that you actually get to try those out and see some of the benefits for yourself. And then we're also going to talk about moving forward and what that might look like in the future with me being here at OsteoStrong. And at the very end, I will open it up for questions. And for any of you that have not muted yourselves yet, if you would please just hit that little mute button. That way there aren't any disruptions. That would be awesome. Thank you. All right, so first off, we've got the holistic approach to bone health. So our bones are living tissues and they're constantly going through a remodeling process influenced by several factors, including blood circulation, hormones, stress levels. So it's really vital that we know how to influence this process in a positive way. Optimal bone health, if you go anywhere, the usual recommendations typically revolve around weight bearing exercise and making sure you're getting the proper intake of calcium and vitamin D. However, one of the main factors that we tend to overlook is breath work. We've used breath work for centuries in order to affect every system in our bodies. And this helps us create greater resilience, which is stronger immunity, generating energy and focus, promoting relaxation and peace of mind, as well as learning how to heal your body from the inside out using your breath as a tool. So, the main reason why breath work is so impactful is because of how you can use it as a remote control for the nervous system. You can use breathwork techniques for upregulation, downregulation, and finding that nice balance of equilibrium. Breathwork refers to a wide range of functional techniques as well as longer somatic journeys designed to improve emotional, mental, and physical health. These practices often involve conscious control of breathing patterns to achieve specific outcomes, but breathwork can also refer to just having awareness of your breath without consciously modifying it. The connection between breathwork and the nervous system is particularly profound because it does work like a remote control. If there is a particular state you would like to be in, you can use different techniques to help you attain that state without anything else other than your breath, which is free and we all have access to it. I love that. And some of the benefits for regulating the nervous system are going to be stress reduction and anxiety relief. I know a lot of people deal with chronic stress and have a lot of anxiety around their health or their bone health, specifically, fear of falling and breaking something. And that can create kind of an underlying background of anxiety for you. It also can help you improve your focus and mental clarity. So you'll be showing up better for yourself in your life. It can improve sleep. This is a thing I hear a lot with clients that come in that they're not sleeping well or they're not getting enough sleep or good sleep. And breathwork can really help you tap into better sleep. It can also lower your blood pressure and your heart rate while also increasing heart rate variability. So, this is really profound. Uh, a lot of our members here tend to have some blood pressure or some heart issues, and so this can help with that as well. You can also enhance your emotional regulation capabilities. This is going to be really important, again, involving stress and overall nervous system. Being able to manage your emotions is a really powerful tool for any aspect of life. And also trauma release. We tend to store lots of trauma in our body. It can get trapped in the fascia if it's not adequately processed. And a lot of times we subconsciously tend to repress or suppress traumas in the body, and that can lead to chronic illnesses, disease, and even a slow loss of bone density. So, how breath work can help to support your bone health in addition to the nervous system is by reducing chronic stress. Chronic stress is one of the main things that does deplete your bone health and your bone density. So, by reducing that, you're automatically going to be getting a little bit stronger bones. Improving oxygenation and circulation. This is really important for being able to deliver the adequate nutrients into the proper areas of the body as well. It balances the body's pH levels. Having an alkaline body actually helps to prevent disease and fight off things like inflammation. It also promotes your hormonal balance. As we know, hormones are a huge role in bone health. They are one of the main pillars that we talk about a lot, especially here at OsteoStrong. And by using breath work, you can actually regulate your hormonal cycles and just balance out those aspects. Facilitating mind body awareness as well as postural health. So, mind body awareness is super important. Even if you're coming through a session here at OsteoStrong or really anything that you're doing, having an awareness of what's going on inside of your body, how you're feeling, those different factors are going to be really vital for being able to heal and improve your state of being. Postural health is another really big one. We focus on that a lot here, having good form, having good posture, and how breath work can actually affect those things as well. Supporting your gut health, and again, improving sleep, which we kind of talked about a little bit in the last slide. So, for reducing chronic stress, essentially, when you are in a stressed out state, your body releases much higher levels of cortisol, which, when you're releasing that cortisol in a continued excess state, that will contribute to much more bone loss over time. So, those elevated cortisol levels will interfere with your calcium absorption as well as magnesium and reduce your bones cells activity and increase the rate that they break down. So, by using breath work, you can actually regulate that autonomic nervous system, which kind of controls your body's automatic habits like breathing, your fight or flight state, rest and digest. This is all of the functions that you do unconsciously or subconsciously. So, by using breath work, you can actually allow those osteoblasts, those cells that create stronger bone density, to function much more effectively and optimally. Enhanced emotional regulation. So, breath work can actually help assist in the release of suppressed and repressed emotions, creating space for your body to naturally heal itself. Getting anything that's stuck in the body out can really help increase your overall health. So, learning techniques like holotropic breath work or euphoric breathing can help to release trauma and foster more emotional resilience. And this also impacts how we are able to process and manage stress. Stress is something that happens externally a lot of the time, and how we choose to respond to it or how we automatically respond to it is going to really affect our overall quality of life. Improving oxygenation and circulation. So, bone tissue, like all other parts of the body, relies on proper oxygenation to properly deliver those nutrients into the bone, into the cells, and get them functioning properly. By consciously doing some deep breathing exercises, you can increase that flow of oxygen and enhance your blood circulation all throughout your body, your skeletal system, as well as cardiovascular, muscular, all of the different systems, endocrine, that will help you with your overall health. Um, Increased oxygen flow to the brain also enhances cognitive functions like memory, decision making. It can help you clear your mental fog and have sharper thinking. And who doesn't want that, right? We all want that mental clarity, that focus. and lowered blood pressure and heart rate. So, studies have shown that slower, controlled breathing can lower and reduce heart rate. This can contribute to cardiovascular health and decrease the risk of heart-related diseases, which is actually the number one cause of death in the US, is heart disease. So, even just by learning how to properly breathe, you're already doing so much to prevent the number one cause of death. And I would love to see all of your healthy, happy faces, um, not worrying about that heart disease, as well as bone health. Um, Again, coherence breathing can increase heart rate variability, which is a great indicator of overall health as well as longevity. Heart rate variability essentially means your body's um, how much your heartbeat can change its pace. And the more resilient you are, the more adaptable you are, the healthier you are. So having kind of an inconsistent heart rate is actually a good thing. And then, in addition to the other things, it can also help balance the body's pH levels. Accessing a more alkaline state will help to preserve your bone mineral density as well as increase your overall immune system and inflammatory response. An acidic body environment can contribute to leaching of minerals as well as invite disease and illness into the body. So we want to really be able to balance those carbon dioxide and oxygen levels by doing proper techniques for them. Promoting hormonal balance. As you know, hormones play a crucial role in bone health. Estrogen, testosterone, and growth hormones do influence bone density, and stress and dysregulated breathing can disrupt hormonal balance and potentially lead to bone loss as well. So breathwork, through its calming effects on the nervous system, do help to bring your state into a equilibrium or homeostasis, which does support healthier, stronger bones. It also facilitates mind body awareness. This is really important for having proper posture as well as encouraging and toning your inner core muscles. So, the diaphragm is a very strong muscle that we use every day, even if we don't think about it. And by actively training the diaphragm, you are building that inner core, which supports the spine and overall body alignment. With good alignment and better posture, you're also going to be putting less pressure and less stress on your bones, which will decrease your risk of things like stress fractures, which are very common with people who have osteopenia or osteoporosis. And supporting gut health. As you know, Rebecca is a holistic nutritionist, and she has talked a lot about um, how gut health can affect bone health as well. In addition to our hormones and nutrient absorption, a healthy gut is really essential for a healthy life. By being able to do these techniques, you actually can improve your gut health indirectly and allow optimization of that nutrient intake, improving overall digestion. And it can actually help to reduce things like IBS, digestive issues, absorption issues, and constipation. So, while breathwork is not a standalone solution for osteoporosis, it is a very powerful complement for these other things. Here at OsteoStrong, we provide that stimulus, we do nutritional coaching, we have all kinds of other holistic modalities that we use to help improve you in a wide variety of ways. And breathwork is just another thing that we can pair with that in order to create that more holistic approach and enhance your overall well-being. It's also great for physical exercise performance when we do things on the Vibe or on the machines. Having that proper flow of oxygen to the bones and muscles is really important so that we're able to get those growth triggers and improve our endurance and strength. So that's why we always tell you, keep breathing, don't hold your breath. All right. So now we've moved on to proper versus improper breathing. So, proper breathing looks like breathing down into the belly using the diaphragm. If it helps you, you can always place your left hand on your belly and your right hand on your chest just to kind of notice where it is you're breathing. If you notice that you tend to breathe into your upper chest, you're probably not training your diaphragm and allowing it to do its full capability. Also, we tend to chronically overbreathe and breathe too fast. Most people breathe about an average of 18 breaths per minute. This is actually really bad for you. The goal would be to breathe about 5 to 6 breaths per minute, which comes out to a cadence of around 5 to 6 seconds per breath. So that looks like a 5 second inhale and a 5 second exhale. This is kind of what you want your nervous system to be on automatically. Most people, you know, breathe a lot, talk a lot, breathe a lot, and it can actually contribute to more of that sympathetic fight or flight response. So back to proper, we always want to inhale through the nose. Inhaling through the nose is vital because your nose is actually designed in a way that helps to filter the air. Especially here in Arizona, we have a lot of allergens, we have a lot of dust. Breathing in through the nose is going to really help act as a filter to clear that air and prepare it for the lungs. Not only does it clear the air and filter it, but it actually warms the air so that the air is the proper temperature for the lungs. When we breathe through the mouth, we don't have those same systems in place to help protect our lungs against air that might not be the best to breathe. Um, as well as temperature control and filtration. It also acts as a natural humidifier. This is also good for the lungs so that it gets that air in its optimal state that it can use for assisting the other functions in the body. Um, so inhaling through the nose is super important. Exhaling, it kind of just depends on the result that you want. Either is perfectly acceptable. And oral posture. So there's a technique called mewing, and essentially it refers to the tip of your tongue. You want to place it against, so you'll have your teeth, and then there's kind of that little ridge on the inside of your mouth, on your upper palate. If you kind of feel around with your tongue, you want to place the tip of your tongue just behind that ridge and then press the remainder of your tongue up against the back half of your throat and the roof of your mouth. This is going to actually tone your trachea, and it also helps to eliminate that double chin, give you a nice jawline, but that's not its primary purpose. It's actually to help increase your ability to breathe properly. It helps to expand those nasal cavities, allowing for the intake of more air, better breathing, and it will over time change the structure of your skull in a way that functions optimally. A lot of times, people who have been mouth breathing from a young age didn't have their skull properly developed. And a lot of times, that's a really narrow palate, which causes issues with teeth and all kinds of different things. Lung issues, a lot of asthma can be sometimes an effect, not always, but sometimes an effect of improper breathing. And it's also important to fully inhale and fully exhale with each breath. Sometimes we keep a little bit of stagnant air in the lungs because we're not fully exhaling. And the reason this is important is because you want to fully inhale and fully exhale so that you're clearing out any stagnant air from the lungs between each breath. And with improper breathing, again, that looks like breathing into that upper chest, shallow breathing, mouth breathing, over breathing, and breathing too rapidly. These will contribute to things like chronic stress, heart disease, and not being able to regulate your nervous system. Also, fun fact, when you exhale through your nose, it releases a compound called nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is actually a muscle relaxer for the body. So that's another little tool that you have when it comes to breathing through the nose. So, specific techniques for bone health and nervous system regulation. The techniques that I've included in this part of the webinar are diaphragmatic or belly breathing, alternate nostril breathing, also known as Nadi Shodhana, and extended exhalation breathing, coherence breathing, or box breathing. So I'll go over each of these techniques and we'll practice each one for a few minutes as we go through. So diaphragmatic breathing is what you want to try to train yourself to do most of the time. This involves engaging your belly or your diaphragm as far down as you can, and this will help you reduce the cortisol levels. So essentially, when you breathe in, you really want to pull it as far down as you can. And again, bringing that left hand to the belly, right hand to the heart will kind of help you show. I'm going to stand up just so you can see. But basically here you have your belly, you have your chest. Most people tend to breathe in like this, where you see the chest increasing. But here, I really want you to focus on pulling it into the belly and then letting it rise up to the chest. So you should notice that diaphragm fills first and then goes into the chest. So I want everyone just to take a few breaths using that diaphragmatic technique. So go ahead and place your left hand on your belly and your right hand on your heart, breathing in through the nose. Take a nice deep breath into the belly and try to pull it down as much as you can. And if you notice that it's difficult for you to pull the breath down, it's likely because you don't have a toned diaphragm because you've been breathing into your chest. That's okay. But what we really want to do is try to train that diaphragm. So over time, even if you just practice a little bit each day of just trying to sit and be aware of your breath, notice where it goes, and then consciously pulling it down into that diaphragm, that's really going to help you strengthen and tone that diaphragm. Alternate nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana. So this one, you can basically take your pinky and your thumb, or your pinky and your index finger. And this one is going to help you alternate between nostrils. This is really great for balancing the hemispheres of the brain and again, regulating the nervous system. Each nostril is actually connected to a different hemisphere of the brain. So when you breathe in through one nostril, it's actually activating one side of the brain and the other is activating the other side. When you go back and forth between the two and really practice that balance, it helps with your cognitive function as well as your nervous system regulation. So for that one, what you can do is take that finger and press on the outside of one nostril and breathe in for about 5 seconds into one nostril, and then hold at the top, switch, close the other nostril, exhale through the other side. Once you've exhaled through the other side, you can then inhale and then switch again, exhale. Doing about 5 minutes of this every day in the morning or in the evening or even in the middle of the day is really going to help. If you notice that your nose is kind of clogged or your sinuses aren't allowing for the air to go in, even if one side is a little bit worse than the other, you can kind of just practice in and out through that one side to help clear the pathways. Maybe grab a tissue, blow your nose, can massage a little bit right in front of these areas, and that'll kind of help open everything up. The more you breathe in and out through your nose, the more you're going to open up those pathways. So if your nose is totally clogged right now, it's probably because you've been mouth breathing. And especially in Arizona where we have so many allergens, it's just going to fill everything with mucus. So go ahead and test that out for a couple breaths, just a few on each side, alternating back and forth, and just kind of notice how you feel after a little bit. I'll give you just a couple minutes. So inhaling, switching, exhaling, inhaling, switching, exhaling. For me, I've noticed that my right side is a little bit more clogged up than my left side, and that's just something to be aware of. You can always, again, train or clear one pathway, but you just kind of want to do a few minutes of that. All right. And for the next technique, I've got extended exhalation breathing. This is going to be one of the best ways to activate the parasympathetic nervous system or rest and digest. Anytime you extend the exhalation of a breath, you're going to be soothing the vagus nerve. So, a great one for this, it just kind of brings everything down to that rest and digest, that relaxed state. This technique is also great for sleep. There's a technique called the 4-6-8 technique, and essentially you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 6 seconds, exhale for 8 seconds. If you want to try this now, you can go ahead and try it. But basically, I want you to continue applying those other things we talked about, like breathing in through the nose and also pulling down into the belly. If you want to activate the parasympathetic, exhaling through the nose is also a great way to release that nitric oxide, that muscle relaxer, and really soothe your body. So for this one, I'll have you inhale for a count of 4. So go ahead and inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A lot of times, the first time you've done this technique, people have reported that they can't hold their breath that long or that they can't exhale and extend it that long. It's okay if you're not there yet. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of practice to develop more of that diaphragmatic control as well as being able to extend the exhalations. Sometimes, as well, there's a little sensation you get called breath hunger, which is where you actually want to inhale more. And it's always good to edge on the side of experiencing a little bit of breath hunger. This is going to increase your CO2 tolerance and overall boost your body's natural ability to breathe properly. So, anytime you're laying in bed and you can't go to sleep, the 4-6-8 technique, in and out through the nose, down into the belly, is going to be the best way to knock yourself out within a few minutes. Coherence breathing. This is one that we've done on Vibe in the center a couple times. And basically, this is the best for your body's natural optimal function. This is really kind of our state of equilibrium where our body is in that self-healing homeostasis mode. This is basically breathing in for 5 seconds, breathing out for 5 seconds, nice circular breaths, no hold at the top or bottom. Coherence breathing was actually developed by the HeartMath Institute, and it was proven to help increase your heart's capability of heart rate variability, as well as bringing your brain and your heart into a state of alignment, thus coherence. When you breathe in this cadence and this rhythm, it's also going to give you the most amount of mental clarity and focus. So this one's just inhaling for 5 seconds, exhaling for 5 seconds. And this also equals about 5 breaths per minute, which if we went back to that proper versus improper breathing slide, this would be proper breathing. So you can go ahead and try this just for a minute or so, counting to yourself. You can count on your fingers or just count in your head. There's also apps you can use, like Meditation Timer is a good one. Yeah, different ways you can just time yourself. There'll be a little ding every 5 seconds. All right, and then we'll move on to the next one. And this is box breathing. This is actually what we've been doing on Vibe this week. And this is another great one for nervous system regulation. Basically, it again balances everything out. And what this one includes is breath holds at the top and the bottom. Breath holds help to assist so many different functions in the body, but that's something I'll get into another time because there's a lot that I could break down there. But basically, inhaling for 4 counts, holding at the top for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, and holding at the bottom for 4 counts when your lungs are empty. So this is also going to help build up that CO2 tolerance and increase your natural ability to act. So this method is really popular among athletes. It's also used by Navy SEALs before they do any kind of training or anything like that so that they can reduce their stress and improve their focus. So this one will just take about a minute or so. Again, you can count to yourself. You really want to pull it into the belly, always breathing in through the nose. But go ahead and do a nice little count of 4 here. Inhaling and holding at the top, nice full lungs. Exhaling and holding at the bottom, nice and empty. And if you struggle with any of these techniques initially, it's totally fine. But just know that you can practice and develop the skill and increase over time. So obviously there are so many different things that I was not able to cover in today's webinar, just because there are so many different things that breathwork can help with, different techniques. But if you would like to improve your breathing and work one-on-one with me as a coach, feel free to let us know. In the new year, I'm hoping to be available for somatic breathwork journeys as well as functional coaching. And basically, the difference between those is a functional breathwork session would consist of various techniques depending on what your goals are, what you would like to see from your progress. We can cover things like your BOLT score, which is basically your blood oxygen level test. We can kind of get a baseline of where you currently are and where you would like to be and work with you that way. The other option is somatic breathwork journeys. These somatic breathwork journeys are usually between 60 minutes and 90 minutes, and it's more of that holotropic or euphoric technique where you're consciously breathing in a steady cadence for a long period of time. And this is really great for the emotional aspects, the trauma release, subconscious reprogramming, all kinds of different things like that. And I am fully trained in both. So if either one of those interest you, there is our phone number at the bottom of the screen there for OsteoStrong for both McCormick Ranch and Arcadia. We do have 2 locations and they both respond to that phone number. So feel free to take a screenshot or write down the number if you don't already have it. It is just the same number that we use here in the centers. All right, I'll give just another minute for anyone wanting that phone number. And now we will open it up to questions. So I'm going to end my screen share there and I'm going to take a look at the chat, see what we've got. All righty. Hello, Tracy, Nellie, awesome. Thank you, thank you. If any of you have any questions, you can raise your hand with the little thing. I believe it should be on there, or you can type your question into the chat. And I'm just going to take a little bit of time here at the end to go over any questions. If you want to use the remaining time that you had scheduled here for this webinar, it did go a little bit shorter than I thought it would, but you can feel free to use that time to practice some of those techniques we went over as well. Thank you, Cheryl. All right. And does anyone have any other questions? All right. I'm not seeing any hands.
Well,
Right.
I'll just add a little something too, is that I've mentioned this to a lot of you, but we're doing this to kind of get an interest. Like I said, I continuously have people that I do nutrition consults with that managing stress is their biggest challenge. So we kind of wanted to put this information out there, not only to benefit you, but to see if anyone is interested in having a one-on-one breathwork journey with Kara, or if maybe, you know, there's enough interest, maybe we could do a group breathwork class. There's lots of different things, you know, so we're kind of open to your feedback. If you guys have any thoughts about what you would like to see incorporated into OsteoStrong, because I do think this stress management is so critically important to everybody and their longevity and health. But specifically, if you're trying to build bone here at OsteoStrong and you're doing everything perfectly, you're eating enough protein, you're sleeping, you're eating all your micronutrients, your hormones are in balance. But if you're not managing your stress, none of that's going to matter. You're not going to, this is not going to be effective for you. So even though this is a complement, like she said, to bone health and longevity, it's one of those complements that if that stress relief part's missing, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. So it is really important, and we just want to be here to support you guys in any way that you think you could benefit from. So anybody else? Yeah.
Alrighty, and I'm answering your question over the chat. Here we go. And was there any other questions?
Yeah, I see Suzanne, I see your comment about alkaline water, and that definitely is something that is, it's beneficial to give you a boost, but the biggest thing we need to do is make sure that we are avoiding that acidity in the first place, and through proper breath work, proper nutrition. Those are all really good points, but you're right. Taking care of your body in the first place is better than having to drink the alkaline water to try to get it back to normal. So, and Jen, I did record this one, so we're gonna give us a little time and we'll get it uploaded onto YouTube so that you guys can watch it on our YouTube page. So thank you all so much. If there's nothing else, you know, please share your feedback with us if you have it. Otherwise, we enjoyed having Kira present. I enjoyed seeing all of you here today, and look forward to more OsteoStrong presentations in the future too. So thank you all for coming, guys. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank you, Kira. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.